Today on Local Connection, we're down by the beautiful Sunset Beach, enjoying all that the summer has to offer. On today's show, we go sailing at Jericho Beach. Also, beautiful floral arrangements at the Bloom Bloom Room. And a more controversial plant. See all this and more right now on Local Connection. Hello and welcome to Local Connection, a show about the people and places that make the Lower Mainland great. I'm Sonja Grgar. We're here today at the lovely Sunset Beach, and up first, we go to another sunny locale, Jericho Beach, where we learn about a fantastic summer sport.
Hi, I'm Dana Schindel, and today we're at Jericho Beach with the Disabled Sailing Association. Throughout the summer, the Disabled Sailing Association takes beginner to experienced sailors with disabilities out on the water for sailing, sailing lessons, races, and regattas. They also have some really cool adapted boats.
Hey! The Jericho Sailing Center is Vancouver's Ocean Community Center. We exist to give people access to Vancouver's ocean playground in small, naturally powered craft. And one of our most famous programs is a disabled sailing program. It's a very popular and inspiring program. Started in 1988 by Sam Sullivan. He received a boat from Rick Hansen that had been donated to him by Margaret Thatcher, the British Prime Minister. Rick wasn't a sailor, but Sam was. Rick said, look, if you start a program, I'll donate it.
How did you get into sailing?
I couldn't skydive anymore, so I had to figure out something else to do. And my dad, who's a sailmaker, turned me on to sailing. Being able to compete again was awesome.
I thought, I like being on the water. I'd never sailed before I was injured, really. But I did kayak. When I went out for the first sail, it was really comfortable. I've been doing it for 20 years now. I guess I like the wind in my hair, as well as being really nice to be on the water.
It's fun, it gives me exercise, I get the vitamin D from the sun, and it's a good social event, especially down at Jericho.
I never dreamed that I could handle a boat myself, and it's calming, it's peaceful. Most of the time there's not so much boat traffic that it's noisy out there. It's quiet, and it's hard to find any place that's quiet anymore, but it's beautiful out there. It's just peaceful, and it's wonderful to feel that I'm in control. It's just great.
I like the adrenaline rush because I like racing the most. The tactics on the water, you're always thinking with your head. It's like a game of chess, really. And the speed, obviously, and the water.
Liam's the one to beat.
I'm winning right now, but we'll see what happens at the end of the day.
English Bay on a weekend in the summer is absolutely filled with boats.
It's a competitive outlet on race days, and other days it's just great to leave the chair behind on the tarmac and you're sailing free.
It's amazing the independence and freedom that comes out of the sailing, and to see a lot of these new sailors, how stoked they are, like to be here at the beach and to be getting out on the water and, coming back with new skills, getting faster and that all the time, or more confident. I couldn't really think of almost more freeing adaptive sport, than being out there on the water. And the extra amazing thing too that I just can't believe and I'm so inspired by is the different disabilities you see here. Like, there's some, there's amputees and full quadriplegics, and some sailors like Terry LeBlanc, and that's sailing sip and puff, fully paralyzed from the neck down. It just shows that anything is possible. It's so amazing, really. It's awesome to just be down here and part of it.
How does your boat work?
Well, my boat works using sip and puff technology. So I sip the starboard, puff the port, so it's very intuitive. And I sip to bring the sails in towards the center. I puff when I have to let the sails out.
In our case, the sails by themselves are dealt with by pulling them with our hands.
Whenever we launch a boat, we have to move it around on land first, so the keel has to be up in the travel position. And when we're out in the water, we have to get it down as far as it will go.
750 pounds. That's what keeps the boat from capsizing.
Jaxpo's on a trailer. It's being pulled to the ramp and it will be lowered into the water. We have to do this for every sail. This takes a lot of extra time because we don't have a floating dock. We're hoping it will come pretty soon with the reconstruction of the pier.
I think what's really important about the volunteers here is that they help make this program, and without their contribution and help, we wouldn't be able to make as many sails as we do every day.
3, 2, 1, starboard!
The boats they're on, Don Martin's, were designed locally with lots of input from the community of sailors.
Here in Vancouver, you've got the best sailing in the world. With all this wind and wonderful sun, you can't beat this.
If you're interested in joining the Disabled Sailing Association as a sailor, or if you're an experienced sailor and you'd like to volunteer, check out disabledsailingbc.org and give them a call. For Local Connection, I'm Dana Schindel from beautiful Jericho Beach.
Thanks, Dana. That was great. The Disabled Sailing Association takes sailors out onto the water all summer long, so be sure to get involved. And one of the things that I love about the summer are the beautiful plants and flowers that are in full bloom. Up next, party planner Amber Orchard takes us to a place where it's summer all year long.
Flowers are a great way to add beauty, color, and scent to your event. From corner stores to high-end florists, flowers are easy to find and can fit a variety of budgets. However, flower arranging is a true art, and we're here in historic New Westminster to learn some design tips from the Bloom Bloom Room. And if that great name didn't grab you, Rani's Designs will. Hi, Rani! Oh my gosh, I love your new space.
Thank you, I love it too. It's so
Good.
exciting. Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah, so we're actually two different stores. Poppin' Dot Studios is a vintage furniture store, and then myself that does all the beautiful flowers and succulents and air plants and gardening.
The Bloom Bloom Room offers home delivery of market-style bunches every Friday called Friday Flowers. I love coming home to mine. So speaking about Friday Flowers, I would like to find a way to extend the life of this arrangement.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that the boxwood, these guys here, they're in great shape. The madrona's in great shape. The snapdragon's looking a little sad, but we can do something with it. The berries are good. The stalk, which smells like clove, is fantastic.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
Wasn't it beautiful,
Loved that,
the aroma? Oh my goodness. And the rose, of course, sadly, we can either use as a dried flower. I put together some recycled vases that we could choose from, something small that we could use on a table or beside the bed. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about quickly before we start working on our posies is a few other tips and tricks that we can use on making cut flowers in small vessels like these ones. So for example, if you have some tape around your house, you can take little strips of tape and put it into a grid.
Yeah.
And then when you have a little bit of water in the bottom, you're going to cut your stems, you're going to stick them in here, and they have support then. And then the other option, of course, you can get this at Michael's or other various places, is foam. You would cut a piece to size, soak it in water, stick it in the vessel, and it works the same way. The size of the vessel should be about the size of the stalk, approximately.
50%?
About
or
50%,
okay,
yeah,
so
depending,
half the size.
yeah.
Okay. Deconstructing time.
Anything below your water line, you want to remove. You'd clean your vessel completely, scrub it clean, put clean water in just to about here or so, quarter of the vessel, and a few drops
of bleach.
Drop, drop, drop. Now, a good rule of thumb, if you have time, is to change this water every day or every second day.
All right, so our next step, we've got these laid out here.
Yeah, so now we're going to go through, we're going to weed through them, get rid of the ones that we're not going to use that just look too bad, and then we're going to put the ones that we can use to the side.
Okay.
You want to make sure that it's still quite firm in the center and all the leaves are nice. And the stalk is good, it still has a nice aroma, it's in good shape. Now the berries are in really good shape, green and soft, which is excellent.
You got some of the boxwood
Yeah,
here?
the boxwood looks all good. Now if we took a look at this before, we might know that we want to actually refresh it a little bit, so you can always pick up tulips or something from the grocery store that would be around. Grab anything out of your own garden to refresh it, and that's the best thing. You should not be using scissors. If you use the scissors and you're cutting your stem, what's going to happen, I'm going to cut this little piece here. You cut the stem with the scissors, like this. Oh, you're actually going to be closing and sealing off the bottom of the stem so that the stem's not going to be able to drink anymore.
Got it. So then
you're crushing the stem. Do not use your scissors.
Here you go.
You're going to use some nice shears, or better yet, you're going to use your knife. You hold it away from yourself, and again, you're going to cut on an angle.
Okay. All right, we're just going to go for this. Here we go.
Start with your green. You want your greens to be a bit lower, below the head of the actual bloom. So I would cut that a little bit lower.
The Bloom Room also offers flower arrangement workshops for children and adults, pop-up markets, and flower services for weddings and corporate events.
You know, Randy, I got to tell you, I think you might be able to resell this one.
Yeah, I think this one and this one are beautiful enough to sell, but I would love you to take this one home and enjoy it in your house.
You are a sweetheart. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Randy. Thank you for having us. Thank you for your tips and tricks.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Most appreciated. Well, this is Randy at the Bloom Room, and I'm Amber Orchard for Local Connection.
Thanks, Amber. And stay tuned because after the break, we meet one of the world's most famous actors. You will know his face, but you may not know his name. The amazing story of Anupam Kher. Local Connection will be right back.
I'm Bob Lenarduzzi. 1 in 3 Canadians know someone with Alzheimer's disease, the most common form of dementia. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. Family and friends are impacted and live with the reality of this disease, which to date has no cure. Don't drop the ball on your friends because no one should be alone on the dementia journey. Support the Alzheimer's Society of BC in their search for the causes and cure for dementia.
Today's generation of young people spend the least amount of time outside of any generation in human history. We need to have children out, we need to have people out in order to see the world around that allows us to live. I think something like the Sea to Sky Trail is the epitome of what we need to get people back out into the real world, to see nature as it can be, and something that we are a part of and that we must fight to protect.
Welcome back to Local Connection. We're here enjoying this romantic sunset, which feels like a scene out of a Bollywood film, which is perfect because next up we meet an actor who's been in over 500 films. His rags to riches story is what Bollywood dreams are made of, so our reporter Daisy Keshni was very excited to meet him in person.
Hi everyone, I'm Daisy and we are at the SFU's Gold Corp Center for the Arts celebrating the Indian Summer Festival's special curtain raiser for a very special man by the name of Mr. Anupam Kher, who was a struggling actor in the city of Mumbai, India in the 80s, who made it big in the biz by his sheer stubbornness and his ability to celebrate his failures. And one deep thought and inner will that anything can happen.
I was born into a poor family, very poor, but we were rich in our heart.
Mr. Anupam Kher, sir, welcome on our show. It's such an honor to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Sir, you've done over 450 films, but have you reached the 500 mark yet?
No, to be precise and to correct you, I have done 491 movies.
You may recognize Mr. Anupam Kher from his path-breaking iconic movies in Indian cinema as well as in Hollywood movies. Just to name a few, Bandit Like Beckham, the Oscar-nominated Silver Linings Playbook, and the most recent, Wachowski's sci-fi drama Sense8. Anupam Kher came from humble beginnings and faced a lot of failures, which he celebrated.
We give too much importance to failure. We are constantly more aware of failure than failure has great joys. I am a sum total of my failures today, and I'm a success.
Your second movie was Saranj, and you were a strapping young 28-year-old, and you were given a role of a 65-year-old man, and then the role was taken away from you and you sort of got it back. You have to tell us how you got it back. And
I think I had worked for the script and I had prepared myself, and then 10 days before the film was to be started shooting on the floors we were to roll,
And a friend of mine came and he said, I have discovered on the production house that you are not doing that role and they have thrown you out and they have taken some established actor. I spoke to my director and I said, is it true? And he was very casual about it. He said, yeah, it's true because production house does not want to sort of engage in no-name actor. That is the time I decided that I should go back home. So I packed my luggage. And on my way to railway station to go back to my hometown, I decided to go to my director's house and abuse him basically.
Or give him a piece of your mind? Yeah.
No, I went to abuse him.
Oh, you went to abuse him?
I was crying and I was desperate and I was horrible. And somehow I think that turned out to be my screen test.
जानो समझते सबको वो मैं अपना सामान लेने आया हूँ कोई भीख मांगने नहीं आया हूँ और ना ही कोई इस तरह देखिए मिस्टर यहाँ सभी को अपना टीवी लेने नहीं आया हूँ मैं अपने मरे हुए बेटे की अस्थियां लेने आया हूँ एक बाप का अपने बेटे की रात पर कोई अधिकार है या नहीं या उसके लिए मुझे नीचे रिश्वत देनी पड़ेगी
Role was phenomenal. I would have not survived these 31 years if I had not done that film as my first film. So
I remember reading somewhere that you had actually slept on railway platforms and you didn't have food to eat.
Yes, that's true. It doesn't look like that now because I'm wearing a suit and a tie. But yes, I have spent certainly I think 18 to 19 nights on a platform because I didn't have a place.
There came a time when he felt like nothing was happening for him in Mumbai and he was being humiliated and wanted to return back home. And that's when his grandfather wrote to him to give him one valuable advice.
stick around and remember, the next line was in Hindi, or the whole letter was in Hindi, and the line was, remember, bhiga hua aadmi barish se nahi darta.
Anupam Kher didn't exactly fit the hero mold as he was losing his hair.
About 30 years back, it was much more about having hair and having packs. They didn't realize that actor needs to have 6 packs here rather than over here. Bombay is a city of dreams. It's a very, very magnanimous city. It gives you a chance once to make it. And why should they be kind to me? So I had to grab my own chance, and it took me about 3 years to finally get my break.
I don't look at life from a tragic point of view. I don't intellectualize life. I live it. Right.
He is a versatile actor who plays his characters with sincerity and with impeccable comedic timing, whether on screen or on stage.
So, thank you very much for this. This is the 4th time he has come to check my backside. He could have sent somebody else also. But every time he decides to come, and it's on my belt, but his hands will always go down. This Anupam Kher is distracting me. Stop it, idiot. You know, the actor is so greedy. Yeah, better. Is it okay now? Just look at me now. This you did on your own.
Little did Mr. Anupam Kher know that during all his heartbreak and humiliation, he was carving a place for himself in the history of Indian cinema.
When I was a struggling actor, I used to read a lot of autobiographies. And I used to feel better reading the first half of the autobiographies that everybody has struggled, everybody has gone through tough times. So that's why I keep talking about it, so that people who go through tough times have some kind of an example in me.
Catch Mr. Anupam Kher live on stage in Vancouver on August 30th, performing his most recent play, We Never Say What We Mean.
The best thing that I have retained myself is that I have not let a city like Bombay change me. I knew that I'll make it. Because my grandfather, when I was a kid, he used to say that if you work hard and if you are honest, you always make it. So I didn't want to prove him wrong ever. So maybe not for myself, but for the values that my people had taught me, I did not want to give up.
I can't believe I met Mr. Anupam Kher. Just like he says, anything can happen. For Local Connection, I'm Daisy Keshni.
Thanks, Daisy. Anupam has quite an amazing story and such a good sense of humor, too. Stay tuned because after the break, we delve into one of the most hot-button, controversial issues right now, and one that is sure to feature in this year's federal election. Cannabis for Sale, a behind-the-scenes look at the BC Compassion Club Society. Local Connection will be right back.
I think the Sea to Sky Trail is very unique in the fact that people with different disabilities, different levels of disabilities, maybe not even disabilities, maybe someone with a stroller or someone who just has a hard time walking. Just having a trail of this extent, going through the wilderness the way that it does, we never get to see that anywhere. Just to be out with your friends, your family, it's so important and it's so rewarding.
Dear Children's Wish Foundation of Canada, thank you for sending me Rory the Lion. That means I'm going to get my wish, and that makes me really, really happy. Yesterday he was sad, but I told him it's okay, Rory, but only 2 more needles until my wish. I will send you pictures from the top of the Rocky Mountains. Love, Emily.
Imagine the difference a wish can make. Click on childrenswish.ca and give today.
Welcome back to Local Connection. We're here at Sunset Beach enjoying the sunshine, and one issue that is almost as hot as the sun right now are Canada's laws around marijuana dispensaries. Our own reporter Simon Murray visits one such location and explores what makes it unique.
With the recent explosion of medical marijuana dispensaries in the Vancouver area, we came here to the BC Compassion Club Society, the longest running medical marijuana dispensary in North America, to see what all the buzz was about. Let's go check it out.
Since 1997, the BC Compassion Club Society has provided medical marijuana products as well as a holistic approach to treating people in the Vancouver area.
We're informed mostly by the values of compassion, diversity, those types of values that we believe are really important to a healthy world. Our mission basically was to provide cannabis to those in need, along with other natural therapies. I think plant medicines in general have kind of just been pushed out of the public eye, and really I think that should be the first line before you start giving somebody something as hardcore as an Oxycontin.
Side effects of the medications that were treating me were actually making me worse and making me seriously not want to live anymore. So I knew there was a better way.
As part of their holistic approach, we went to their wellness center to check out some of the herbal remedies used by their members.
We've got at least 300 herbs.
Yeah, I can see there's a lot. Wow.
Vast majority are certified organic herbs, so we take our quality really seriously. This is chaga mushroom, which is a mushroom that grows on birch trees.
Okay.
And this particular one is harvested just in the interior in Quesnel. It's traditionally used in some cultures for cancer. These are Oregon grape berries. Okay. If you were to go outside, you would see our Oregon grape plant, and it's a really common plant in the forest here. And these are rose petals.
Oh, right, okay.
And so I'm just going to show you a few because they're beautiful. You can see beautiful color and scent.
Ooh. It's like pungent, but it has a smooth kind of aroma too. That's really good.
So this is the dispensary side. You would come in and take a number from here, and then show your card at front desk.
After the wellness center, we went over to the other side of the Compassion Club, where the more controversial herbs are dispensed.
We've got the smokable menu and the tinctures, the non-smokables. It's actually really important to have a diverse menu because people need different strains for different reasons.
I learned about the 2 main categories of cannabis, indica and sativa, of which there are hundreds of strains in circulation.
Sativas generally have a more uplifting effect, sometimes a little more euphoric.
So something I can take during the day and still go to work?
Absolutely, kind of yes. Yeah. And the indicas themselves usually tend to be a little bit sleepier.
I've done the orientation process, I've got my membership card. What's the next step?
The next step would be coming into the distribution lane where you get to meet a staff member and consult with them.
Staff are on duty to help members navigate through the variety of cannabis products offered.
We do have a wide variety of forms of dried smokable cannabis, as well as things like hash, oil extracts, shatters, tinctures, edibles. So really you do have a lot of options here as to how you're choosing to ingest your medication. If you were a new member, I would obviously ask you, what sort of things are you dealing with in terms of symptomology? What times of day are worse for you? The more information that we have, the better we'll be able to help you.
Sometimes I have trouble getting to sleep.
Okay.
So what would you prescribe for me?
Well, I mean, I would definitely recommend anything that is an indica dominant variety. The indica species of cannabis generally has a much more calming and sedative effect. Can be very effective at treating things like anxiety, stress, and certainly things like insomnia. So all of our members here do have the ability to ask to see or smell any strains that they would like. We do ask them not to touch anything just so we can keep everything purely hygienic. For a lot of our members, sight and smell of the product or the medicine is very important in their selection. So this is Master Kush. It's primarily an indica dominant. It's going to be very effective at things like anti-inflammatory properties, great for joint muscle and nerve pain.
For me, I can't smoke.
We have the edible cannabis here. We have cannabis oils that can be taken internally without the need of smoking or vaporizing. We have our tinctures, taking the oil on the end of a toothpick and just sucking the oil directly off the toothpick. Or you do also have the option of putting that oil between the cheek and gums and allowing it to seep in through the capillaries in the mouth.
Canadian law regarding medical marijuana distribution currently mandates a mail-in system, which technically makes a Compassion Club's activities illegal. Despite this, they receive tremendous support from the community and some unexpected members of Canadian society.
We've had senators and councillors and lots of different policymakers come by, including ministers of health from other countries have come to visit our model. The courts have recommended us. We got a commendation from Parliament on our 10th anniversary of illegal activities. And 2 of our former staff members actually were given Queen's Diamond Jubilee medals for their work, which is still considered illegal in Canada.
I would never step foot in any other place other than here because of the team approach. And first and foremost, compassion.
Thanks, Simon. Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Local Connection here at Sunset Beach with our friend Alex, who's keeping us safe. We always welcome your feedback. If there's a story you'd like to see, leave us a message on our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter, and be sure to check out our YouTube channel for past shows. Thanks for watching. For Local Connection, I'm Sonja Grgar, walking off into the sunset. See you next time. You will know his name. You will know his face. Stay tuned because after the break, it just feels really low. Stay tuned because after the Stay tuned because after the break, we delve into That's a wrap for this edition of Local Connection here at Sunset Beach with our friend Alex, who's keeping us safe. We welcome. I want to say thanks for watching. Woo! This is the life, people. That was just a rehearsal, right?